Okay, so let's just say that factoring isn't your thing. And let's just say that the quadratic formula isn't your thing. I just want to say that one of these things better be your thing. But in case you're absolutely desperate, super desperate, you're stuck, you're not sure what you're doing, remember this is a graphing calculator, so what we can do is we just graph this thing. So what you want to do is before you graph anything, you do want to reset your calculator. Second plus 712, enter. Okay, cleared. Always want to do that. So let's just hit the y equals button. So now you know what the equation is, and here's your equation. I am simply going to type in x squared minus 7x minus 18. I'm going to type that in. Let me rewrite this so it's a little clearer. All right? You remember you have f of x equals x squared minus 7x minus 18. And remember, f of x is really just y. And when you hit that y equals button, well, that's your y equals right there. So we're just going to type this in. X squared. Did I just put 7y? I did. That's embarrassing. Y equals x squared minus 7x minus 18. It is 8 o'clock, guys. Give me some mercy here. X squared minus 7x minus 18. Okay, and now you just hit graph it. Now, like I told you in the last chapter, these are really a bunch of U's or upside down U's, the graphs that we're going to be looking at. Now, I know you can't tell, so let's just take a minute to ourselves here and see what this means. You already know that the answer is supposed to be, according to here, negative 2 and 9. So we're crossing the x-axis at negative 2 and 9. So you already know that. So as I'm looking at my graph, you know that right here, let me get this out of the light, right here is 0, 0, and right here is negative 1, and then negative 2. So that looks like it works. Okay, and if you look over here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there you can already see your answers. But let's just say that you couldn't see that. That's not very clear to you. This is how you get your answers on the graphing calculator. You hit second. So make sure you hit second. And then you're going to hit this trace button, but it really means calculate. So you hit trace. Now, remember what we're talking about. Your answers are called solutions, roots, or zeros. And if you look at this menu, you see that 0 is right here. Go down to that option, hit enter. Now you're going to see your calculator is going to ask you a question. And what they're saying is left bound. So now if you tab with this little like joypad here, I don't know what you would call this, you're going to just keep going over. See, there's this crosshair right here. And if you noticed, I can't really land on my intercept. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get pretty close to it. Whether you want to call this close or this close, it depends. But once you think you're close enough, just go to the left, because this is saying left bound. Just click left of it once or twice. 1, 2, that should be good enough. And just hit enter. Now if you look, there's a little arrow here. Okay, and now it's asking you a different question. It says right bound, and they want you to go to the right of your x-intercept. So go back down to where you think it is, as best as you can. All right, kind of in between here. And just hit to the right a couple times. 1, 2. Then hit enter. And if you see, it puts 2 arrows pointing at each other, and you're telling your calculator, listen, I know my x-intercept is somewhere in between these points. Can you search for it? It says, do you want me to guess it? And you just hit enter, and it'll spit out your 0 at x equals negative 2. And so you write your answer, right, solution set, negative 2. And then, if you can tell, you can see that there is another point over here, so you need to do this one more time. Now, the most that you'll have to do this is twice. You'll never have more than 2, but sometimes you might only have 1, or sometimes you might not have any. You hit the same button, second trace, go to 0, hit enter, and then you're going to have to kind of tab over. It's going to have to loop around. You'll see it come around. Come on, come on. Get up there. Come on. There it is. Alright, sometimes it takes a while. Okay, so I can't really get on my x-intercept, but what I can do is I can get close. When you're close, and it says left bound, what that means is you need to create a left boundary. So I'm just going to click to the left once, twice if you want, 3 times if you're really adventurous. I like to go twice, right? Just hit left twice, hit enter, let it drop that arrow there. Now it says you need a right boundary. So I'm going to go back to as close as I can to my x-intercept. I feel like I'm pretty close. Okay, and then you're just going to hit to the right a couple of times. 1, 2, enter. And it creates like this little arrow sandwich, if you will, and it's going to search for your intercept. Would you like it to take a guess? Yes, you would like it to take a guess, and it should spit out your answer right here. Enter. Look at that. There it is. You have a 0 at x equals 9, so I'm going to put that with my solutions here. And that is your solution. Remember, these are called solutions, roots, or more importantly, zeros. Now, if I ask you for an x-intercept is the point. So that point would be negative 2, 0, and you use parentheses. Remember, these are points. And that would be another point at 9, 0. Be careful about what they're asking you. Are they asking you for a solution, a root, or a 0? If they are, you use braces. If they're asking you for an intercept, you need a point, which will always be negative 2, 0, something, 0. Alright, so just double check that. Alright guys, good luck. Let me know. Email me if you have questions.